Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I haven't posted in a while, so I figured I'd post something. As I work on my other project very, very slowly, my How to Make Music Part 2, it's just interest is low sometimes, so I need to finish it at some point, get it out there. You know? It's one of those things that, I don't particularly want to make, but I know I should. So, um, for today, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to be breaking down my project, my song Drive. Um, so, Drive is my latest song I released. It is I'm trying to come up with like genre stuff to tell you about it, but I don't really have a good answer. So, listen to the song, then maybe come back here and, this is the breakdown. So, long story short, this project started out with basically the basis of this project is this drum pattern here. So, this pattern, very simple. I think, if I remember correctly, I I had some pattern that I found somewhere in Ableton, maybe some like clip or something, and then I think I didn't like it originally, so I changed it to this. And it's one of those things where technically I started with the drums, but the final form of the drums didn't come till I put in the vocals. Um, so we had these drums, and I was kind of like, okay, what do I do to start the intro? So let's talk about that, which is this vital sound using transit. This sound called dreamy. And this is transit 2, by the way, which is Andrew Huang's plugin. And it's just some preset I found. So we have that. Then we do this, which I guess this we're doing a automation on trans to the macro knob, whatever. And then down here, this guy, we are doing a few things. We're doing an arpeggio and then auto filter thing, but that's just towards the end here. Uh, oh wait, no, I'm clicked on the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Here, yeah, auto filter frequency at the top. So what we're basically doing is we're taking the arpeggiator, and by the way, this is a vocal thing, um, vocal like it's not a drum. It's not a drum rack, but it's like it's a vocal sample or something within Ableton. It's technically an instrument, I guess, if you're thinking about it. It's under sounds. But if I press play now, for some reason, Ableton is like delayed in this project only. I don't know why, but it's whatever. I got through it. So for this one, what we're doing is we're doing an arpeggiator, and we're automating the arpeggiation to give a stutter effect. Um, and then we're using some warm fuzz, some shimmer, utility to boost it a little bit, and then auto filter to cut it off a little bit. But the auto filter really comes to a certain point here, so it's kind of just like so you barely hear anything, and then you hear more stuff. So if we go here, okay. So actually, now that I think about it, I fed you some false information. I just realized this sample here is this sample here. It's the same thing. I'm pretty sure it's one of these at least. And I just shortened it to make an intro part. So if we listen to this intro part, then it drops. Then on here, this is the next sound. We have Vital again. I'm a big fan of Vital. This one, some random preset I made. If we So we're just doing like filter automation, no effects, some basic shape stuff with FM oscillation. And that's just a whole held note. Just as some background texture and a little bit of noise. And then we have this guy. Wait, never mind. Don't listen to me. This guy at the bottom here is just a trick that I've learned from someone, I forget who. But you create a track the size of your song so that if you click on it, you can loop it just by doing activate loop. So the next part here in the intro is the vocals, which I found on Splice. I didn't have someone here to record with me. And if you like to go fast. So for this, I'm doing Warm Fuzz, then there's Shimmer, but I'm pretty sure I'm not using it. Yeah, I'm not. Long story short, the only things we're really using here are just like the EQ8 auto filter utility and some reverb that we're doing significant enough, but I think the vocal itself already has some effects. Then there's a little bit of the utility thing. I'm a little bit messy, I will say, in this project. You know, after I spend a while working on something, stuff like this happens where I accidentally put a dot there, so it's like red. But auto filter frequency. So for this, we had the drums to an extent, but without like the effects. And then I kind of got this vocal part in, and I was like, I really like this. Originally, it was one connected thing, but I decided to chop it up a little bit just so it fits time better because it's at a certain BPM, and I wanted it to be at a different one. And if you like to go fast, then you can drive me. Put your foot on the gas. So we have this vocal part that comes in after the drop. So let's listen to that part from the intro. So then what we do here is simple again. We're just doing a duplication because the way that I like to think about a lot of music is if you do something, then you do it again. And if you do it again, it doesn't need to be changed in any way. And what I mean by that is specifically one set of something, I guess, is the way to put it. Like, for instance, this guy. One loop. And then two. So after that point, we want to change something. We want to add in something different, cut something out, whatever it may be. But because we're layering this vocal thing over top of, and each of these is a different, part of the vocal. Once we reach the end here, we can just do it again because it sounds more natural than just doing it once. I mean, there's certain cases where doing it once is fine, but we do this, and then that allows us to get, around about 20 seconds-ish of sound. So basically we have this vocal line, and, technically there's some other stuff over here, and that's not really important. That's like some extra stuff that is not included in this part. But the whole entire song following this is pretty damn simple. We have two more instruments in. This is not even in use. We have one more instrument that comes in, and that is it. The rest here is all vocal chopping. So what we have done here is, if we go down to this guy, you can hear what this part is. So these are just like, honestly, the best way to think about it is plosives, which are kind of the sound that you make when you finish talking. Or it's like a sound that comes out of your mouth when air gets pushed. So these are kind of just like chopped from different parts, like here. If we solo this, and if we go here, and then we loop this, for instance. So you can hear this part is the exact same thing as this part. And then this part is just from another section there. And that comes together in this. And then with the drums. Yeah. And then down here we have this guy, dark chords, which sounds like this. Just to play some random notes. And this one, EQ again with some auto filter. The auto filter is typically just put there as a way to create automation for volume. And then we have RC20 to give it a little bit of an effect. And that's just going on till the end of the song, basically. Well, I say basically, but actually it just goes till the end. And then, of course, there's this thing here, which is not in use, but it was an idea I had originally. And it would have, you know, fit like this. But I determined it was too much. So next section here, we cut out most of the sounds besides this guy for the purpose of, well, I guess this one doesn't actually play. Huh. Yeah. So one thing that I guess I did wrong here, which, you know, it's too late, is this guy doesn't start at 17, which is right here. Starts, well, I mean, it starts this, this note starts at 1 on the grid, on the track, I guess. It's a very confusing thing to try and explain. But best way to think about it is we made a sound, we made a note, we started here, we pressed the note, and we're telling it, do this, and hold the note, and then hold the note. But now, because we're starting from here, we're telling it to hold the note, but no note has been pressed because this is the initial pressing. So technically, nothing's happening here. Well, now it is. Give me a sec. Okay, I stand corrected. For whatever reason, it just works. Typically, though, like if I'm just playing it from here, there's no sound. But I guess something with it going over it. Okay, anyways, so we have that. Then this is just a transition piece, so we use it just to be like, okay, we're going into the next section. So, and, you know, it has like shimmer on it. Basically, all of these have shimmer because I duplicated whatever this track was and then did the chopping that I need. Because originally everything was kind of on the same track, which is not proper practice at all. But I was chopping stuff on one track, and then I would duplicate the track, delete all but one part, and then on the second track, delete the part that I didn't delete on the first track, and then keep the rest, and so on and so forth till I had each element individually. Because of course I could, you know, have this up here on this track, but that's not proper, and you want to be able to edit each sound differently. So this part is part of a part where it says fast, where she says fast, and I reversed it to do fader. Now, if I go here and reverse it, you can hear what this sounds like. It's, of course, it's cut off, so it's harder to tell, but she says fast. So this is just like, you know, a section where I'm like, I want the volume to come down, I want it to be calmer versus where we had the drums. So I remove a lot of the sounds besides this guy and these vocal bits, I guess. So this one It's just, again, it's kind of just reverby, vocally part. Isn't too much to say about it in terms of its place. Fuzz again, shimmer, yada yada yada. So that section sounds like this. Keeping it calm. Okay. So then after that section, we basically cut almost everything out besides this guy, and we slowly bring the drums back in. So we're doing this with, again, auto filter, or yeah, auto filter on the group. This one has shape rocks. And then we bring all these other ones back in. Well, because this guy is copied incorrectly, it doesn't play, but that's fine. Okay, so then for this section, again, we're using chops that are similar because I've just used this chop here to be kind of this part, and also it's part of this part. If you listen to it, just change some sounds. Then this is a hi-hat made out of another part of the vocals, which if I scroll down here, you can see exactly what I've done. It's this phrase. So if we listen to this, and then we remove it, this part alone is just, it kind of has the, whatever, I'm trying to think of the right word. Kind of, it has the similarities. It has similarities to that of a hi-hat. Whatever. It sounds very similar. So I picked it out. And I was like, okay, I'll use that for hi-hats. And now, of course, if I, EQ'd it more and changed a bunch more settings, I could probably get it even more. But because it's kind of in the background, and it's just like, kind of, it's in the background, it's not center stage or anything, I figured it was totally fine. And when you listen to it, you can, like, kind of hear it. To an extent where you're like, oh, there's a little hi-hat or something. You kind of push it off to the side. And then, of course, this part we already know, so... Okay. This one we do it twice. Down slowly. Same with the drums. Then again, a new part here is just the intro to this guy. If we listen, it's the "and if you," and we're using it here as a build-up to go back to the main vocal line. So here, and because we're cutting stuff out, besides of course this guy, which is, it's loud enough so it still, has energy, and this guy builds up quicker, this guy builds up slower. And the drums come back in. But with these drums, I have changed them slightly. So now we have double well, we have triple kick. We have kick, kick, and then kick, which we don't have that over here. We just have kick and then kick. And how I did that is I just times it, divided by 2, and then duplicated it. So then we got a more interesting pattern. Just some sort of variation. So this guy is also just, it's this exact thing here. I'm just like copying it over because a lot of times you can just reuse elements and it doesn't really matter. But for the purpose of this one, what I've done here is, if you notice, this section is missing a sound like this. I basically removed this part, I zoomed in, removed it, and then I consolidated this clip. So if we listen to it alone, there's no hi-hat sound. Well, technically there's a little bit, but that's just like some bleed over. And then the hi-hat part is here. Then together. Then after this section, cut everything out. Slow down. Still using our dark chord bass, piano, whatever. And then here we kind of end this. I mean, it's not perfect, but this is 1.96 kilohertz, and then we kind of we try to keep it close so that we're not going from quiet to full volume yet, which is when we get to up here. So really we're trying to make some transition, because what I was trying to do was, I was like, I really want to bring these back in, the vocals, because I used it once, and I feel like using it once isn't really good enough, unless you're doing something like spoken word, like if you have an intro and it's just like someone talking about something, you don't really need to bring that back. And you don't need to bring back repeated vocals too, but I think it helps sometimes when you're, closing it, you bring the vocals back in. So and then we're making this louder as this guy's getting louder. And then I don't know what this is doing. And then ending transition. And then we fade it out basically to here. Now, of course, it's not exact. It's better to be exact, but at the same time, it's like totally fine if one of them is here and the other one's different spot or whatever. Totally fine. And this guy here is literally just textural. No hi-hat, but I think, yeah, just frequency. I think there was something else I was wanting to say. Nope. Okay. So, long story short, we started with the drums, and then we got this vocal from Splice, and then using that vocal, we just added some more layers onto it, some like synth stuff, albeit it's a bit messy. That was all just getting timing right, and because I messed up early on or with something, I think, and it was something that I was already in enough where fixing it would have been annoying, so we have these weird automation stuff. Let me also just, while I'm here, fix this, because it is gray. So, last thing before I end, I want to find, I'm opening up Splice here, because I think I can show you what vocal line I had.
And if you like to
Here you
go
go.
fast, then you can drive me home. Put your foot.
So it is a fairly wet one, and it has reverb on it, but I added some more with it.
And if you like to go fast.
And some warm fuzz. Okay, so that is my song Drive. It's not the full song, of course. You gotta go to streaming services to listen to it in one concise manner. Um, but I hope this video was informative in some way about my music creation process or about some technique. You know, if you get nothing out of this, it's totally fine. It's not really learn this thing. It's more just I made a song and I kind of like it. So, I guess for the ending notes, I am I want to say I'm done with my script of the next video, but I'm not sure. I keep on doing revisions because I want it to be good. I'm a perfectionist at heart, and I also want it to flow well. Because if I'm making a video on, how to make your very first song, I want to make it easy for beginners to understand. So there is a certain level of text in there at the moment that might need to be changed because it's like, here's this technical term that no one knows. So I'm gonna say that I should be like, I'm gonna set a goal for myself to be done with the script completely by the end of this weekend, which honestly I probably will be done sooner, but end of this weekend. I already have a little bit of video idea, as in like what exactly the recording's going to look like. So I'm going to be working on that also, slowly but surely. And then in terms of if I'm going to stream, I don't know. I may at some point soon. Um, I'll definitely do it in the future at least, but like at the moment, I'm kind of just like schoolwork, gaming, music, a bunch of things. It's just my desires are set elsewhere at the moment. In any case, I love every single one of you guys. I will try and keep up and post more stuff soon. If you want to get in contact with me, also, just join the Discord. I think the link in bio thing works. If not, just tell me in a comment. I'll update that. But join the Discord if you want, and then we can talk about music or anything. It's not crazy active at the moment, but I don't really message much in there because I'm not someone who's great at starting convo, but I'm great at joining in on it. So, ask me anything. I'd love to help you out with your own songs, and I will see you guys soon. Alrighty, love you guys.